very good evening. This is the PNGTV Live News Bulletin. I'm Belinda Kora. It's day 16 following the devastating quake that hit parts of Southern Highlands Province in Hela. Opposition leader Patrick Pruitt is now calling on the national government to release PNG LNG project development levy funds to assist with relief work and rehabilitation of earthquake-stricken areas. This also includes Western Province. Mr. Pruitt says these funds totaling 300 million kina rightfully belongs to the provincial and local level government of the gas-producing provinces which are in need of assistance. He says there is no reason to hold back these monies, especially since part of the development levy had already been released to Southern Highlands and Hela prior to the 2017 national general election. He says there is no merit in ensuring that royalties owing to landowners for LNG production in the past 5 years are released before the operations at the plant sites recommences again. The general crime rate in the nation's capital is currently steady, with a decrease in armed robbery cases and stolen motor vehicles. NCD Police Boss Pero Endrano reveals it has been quiet in the last 2 weeks, with less crime committed than previous months. Quentin and Aime with this report.
The last 7 days saw an average of 7 vehicles stolen compared to past months where about 11 vehicles were stolen in a week. Drano says there were not many major crimes reported towards the end of February and early March, unlike before. In the last week, a total of 7 motor vehicles were reported stolen, 4 minor armed robbery cases were reported, 3 cases of break-and-entry and robbery, 2 cases of fraud-related offences, and 3 cases of sexual offences reported.
That I attributed to police working very well, tirelessly, therefore to prevent crimes. At the same time, we also have support coming from the units in APEC security programs that have.
Quintina Naime, PNGTV Live.
Members of the Medang Provincial Executive Council have resolved to reinstate sideline Provincial Administrator Daniel Aloy. This comes in the wake of the National Court's decision on the 1st of this month to order a recount of the Medang regional seat after a successful challenge by candidate Jerry Singarok to Governor Peter Yama's election. Kaligan Tanda with this report.
In a press conference today, members of the Medang Provincial Executive Council, along with now Acting Governor Rama Marisan, made known their intentions to reinstate former Provincial Administrator Daniel Aloy this week in Port Moresby. Mr. Aloy had been sidelined by Governor Peter Yama in late February over 10 allegations of misconduct and negligence. The PEC members state that this is in line with the wishes of the Medang people, and further believe that Aloy's suspension had not followed due process. The PEC members further believe the process in appointing Aloy's replacement, Mr. John Bibi, was flawed as well.
Whereby one junior officer, Lotambo Street by Ximcam, Napudin, Commander of this land post. You can acting deputy administrator, or deputy administrator sister. Suppose you look at this like sense, you see one blood. Man is supposed to the administrator. And put him on this like an option and can run oversee work long administration in the province. The time you see one blood officer, time the junior officer, time the commander put in this like embracing plenty question in the middle, he does not public limited.
The council members are now in Port Moresby and have met with the Public Service Minister, Elias Kapavore, and Secretary Thais Sansan regarding their action. They state that the response has been favorable from the department and thus are awaiting the vetting of their PEC decision and for the instruments to be drawn up to allow the return of Aloy. Aloy was appointed as provincial administrator by former Governor Jim Cass during his term in office. The PEC hopes to resolve the matter before their council elections, which are 2 months away. Kalagantanda, PNGTV Live.
Major relief efforts are now underway following the major earthquake that struck Hela and Southern Highlands provinces. A massive 7.5 magnitude quake struck the Southern Highlands and Hela provinces in the early hours on the 26th of February, and since then continuous aftershocks have been felt all over the two provinces. Quintin and Aime with this update.
According to Assistant Commissioner of Police and Commander Highlands Western and Commander Kaiglo Ambane, police have set up 2 relief operations command center in Tari at the Curtin Brothers camp site and the other one in Mendi at Mendi Police Training Cell, where officials are collecting reports and coordinating relief operations. The worst hit areas in the Southern Highlands province are Mendi, Karins, Lai Valley, Kandep, Mendi, Boda, Pangia, Nipa, and Kutubu. In the Hela province, areas mostly affected are Como, parts of Magarima and Tari, Koroba, and Mount Bosavi areas. From the reports received at the command centers, 45 have died so far in the Southern Highlands province, and in Hela, 80 people are confirmed dead. It is expected that the figure might increase once all people have been accounted for. In addition, there are 3 major landslips at the sections of Mendi, Karanj Road, Poroma, and Kutubu roads. Access to Kutubu was blocked but was cleared last Thursday. Mendi Kandep Road is still blocked off and work is in progress to reopen the land. Debris of landslips from Hagen to Mendi and from Mendi to Tari have been cleared. Few cracks along the Highlands Highway have been secured to 1-lane passage from Wara Agule to Mendi. Moreover, over 15,000 people were reported displaced in the Southern Highlands province. Most of those people were put into 7 care centers, 5 at the Kutubu area and 1 at Poroma and Mendi district. In Hela, total reported displaced is about 20,000, of which 16,000 from Como area. Care centers are being set up around the airfields throughout the Hela province. Quintina Naime, PNGTV Live.
You're watching PNGTV Live News Bulletin. More after these messages. Welcome back. You're watching PNGTV Live News Bulletin. For the first time in PNG, a kidney dialysis center has been established to enable more Papua New Guineans to undergo treatment for renal diseases free of charge. This new dialysis center, located at the Kennedy Estate at 8 Mile, is owned and fully operated by the PNG Kidney Foundation. Quintin and Aime with this report.
PNG Kidney Foundation was established in 2009 and has since operated over 1,650 sessions of dialysis to more than 35 kidney failure patients from all over the country. Since then, the number of patients seeking dialysis treatment has increased. Therefore, the foundation decided to raise funds to build the new center. The cost of accessing kidney hemodialysis treatment per month in PNG amounts to thousands of kina. The dialysis center was launched yesterday by Governor General His Excellency Sebob Dadai and allows the treatment of 16 patients currently suffering from kidney failure. The foundation chairman Martin Poor thanks all that have supported in establishing the new facility, including the government. Poor says the center provides quality treatment for all kidney patients throughout the country with 13 dialysis machines.
In the near future, we would like to have a rolling out of hemodialysis service throughout the country.
Poor believes that continuous support from the government, the foundation will be able to immediately start planning the setup of a dialysis center in Ley, Buka, and Popondeta.
Patients require continued hemodialysis treatment, specific medicine. It's a long journey for them, but all of them are tough individuals. They do not give in to the disease, they fight it.
Patron of the foundation, His Excellency Sebob Dadai, acknowledges the foundation for this initiative, which he says will enable many Papua New Guineans with renal diseases to seek treatment at an affordable cost. He also commends the support of all stakeholders to establish the center.
Assistance can be targeted towards areas that will make delivery of this service easier in terms of renal medication, renal equipment and training of local doctors to become specialists in renal medicine.
The foundation plans to install more dialysis machines and train more dialysis technicians and nurses. Quintina Naime, PNGTV Live.
Hagara Primary School in the nation's capital has had its new library open this week. The school's principal, Lucy Badu, tells PNGTV Live the school has not had a library for close to 40 years, with the new facility set to benefit students and the wider community. Gregory Avira with this report.
Located in the Motukoita village of Anuabara is the Agara Primary School. Catering for both primary and elementary learning, the school has about 1,035 students enrolled in its elementary section. This group will be the main beneficiaries of the newly opened library and learning center from non-profit organization Book Bilong Pikinini and funded by Steamships Limited. The last time the school had an actual library was over 40 years ago. And with this new library, the school's principal is positive it will complement learning in the school.
It will really help the school and the community. For the past years or for the past last year and so, we found out ourselves that we were running short or we didn't have the library, and that was one thing that we really needed to have in the school.
It's been over 40 years since since the school had a fully functional library. So we all owe a big thank you to Book Bilong Pikinini.
The support to the school was signified with a memorandum of understanding signed between the school and the organization. Book Bilong Pikinini founder Anne Sophie Ehrman says such a center not only serves as a library, but a center for early childhood learning.
So what does Book Bilong Pikinini do in these libraries? It's not just a little library learning center. It's actually programs which will help shape the future for the children in their education.
Following the official opening, students and staff with members of the school board were given a tour of the center. While the shelves are yet to be filled out, Book Bilong Pikinini plans to provide close to 3,000 books for the library. Gregory Avira, PNGTV Live.
Managing Director for the Mineral Resource Development Corporation, Agustin Mano, is urging people in the quake-hit project areas to cooperate with leaders on ground while awaiting major relief assistance. Kaligan Tanda with this report.
The MRDC Managing Director, when speaking with the displaced people of the Kutubu LLG gathered at Pimaga Station, highlighted major infrastructure damage on ground which were affecting other project areas as well.
Aste, plesem bagarab lo project area stretem lo homa power yalanda bakwale we big bla heavy stop longan aste Prime Minister yet stop la hab mi wandam all some line mi bla ko lo hab na lugu mo line la hab plus ixim big bla bagarab longan mi bla tram lo delivery mall lig all keke na all care centers. One up, you can help him long on medicine helicopter karam go.
He had said that with the road network being cut, the use of helicopters to distribute small food and medical relief was what MRDC could do at this stage while awaiting major relief assistance from other stakeholders.
So, project area where MRDC got interest long and mibla tram lo wokima. You got provincial government staff, national government staff, all set staff, Exxon staff. Partner no level all wokima. This stop na wokim no level MRDC long PRK ya. Where help him
He revealed that for the time being, MRDC had stepped in to ensure immediate relief assistance was getting to the people on ground while major relief infrastructure would come with the government. Mano said that though himself and other leaders were not on ground, the people's plight was at the forefront of their thoughts, and they wanted them to work with their leaders during the disaster.
You need more leaders to have ground so that time people distribute more again all relief supply. And must go all people straight and people something. That's why people need more leaders to have ground so that all something come you can go along all man meri now can move him. So that no get all something and lose number system na process and foul him or something.
The first food supplies for Pimaga Station arrived on Friday morning through the assistance of MRDC. Since the arrival of government relief supplies in Mount Hagen last week, MRDC has been funding and coordinating the airlift to the Moro Air Base and care centers in the disaster-stricken areas. Kaligantanda, PNGTV Live.
You're watching PNGTV Live News Bulletin. More after these messages. Welcome back. You're watching PNGTV Live News Bulletin. Ensuring quality service is delivered consistently in the response to HIV/AIDS in the country continues to be a challenge faced by the Health Department. While challenges exist, Deputy Secretary for Health, Dr. Paison Dakulala, says the country continues to improve its capabilities in the health sector approach in addressing the HIV epidemic. Today saw the launch of a national strategic framework aimed at improving quality health care and treatment in health facilities throughout the country. Gregory Avira filed this report.
The HIV Quality Management Approach, or IVQAL, was introduced back in 2008 to improve the management of HIV care and treatment in clinics throughout the country. With the help of health partners over the years since then, the National Department of Health now has a document to guide the implementation of this approach.
We officially launched this
national
framework to God be the glory.
Present at the launching of the HIV Quality Management Strategic Framework were U.S. Ambassador to PNG, Catherine Abbott Gray, Deputy Health Secretary Dr. Paison Dakulala, representatives from World Health Organization, and clinicians from antiretroviral therapy centers. HIV has developed into an endemic since the first reported case back in 1987. Deputy Health Secretary Dr. Paison Dakulala says the health sector is now in a much better position in addressing the endemic compared to the 1980s.
We have come a long way, and we need to set the foundation and build on it so that we can go the next mile or next leg. And you must know that those who started the pioneering stage, it was like a Burukimbus, time. And you have the opportunity now, and the tools that are brought to you, make use of them to make it better for our people.
HIV Quality Improvement Officer with WHO, Margaret Numambo, tells PNGTV Live the framework stands to greatly assist clinicians in providing quality and holistic care for patients living with HIV and AIDS.
The HIV population, they are the very important people in the HIV care program that Department of Health is looking at, WHO is looking at, CDC is looking at. These are the very important people, are the people living with HIV and AIDS that we want to tell them that we care and quality really touches them. When you do quality work, you touch them.
Following today's launch, the IVQAL guide will now be sent out for implementation throughout the 90 ART clinics nationwide. Gregory Avira, PNG TV Live.
To some sporting news, SP PNG Hunters coach Michael Marum says ongoing wet conditions in North Queensland will not affect the team's performance as they train and prepare to play in any condition. Following last weekend's win in the Queensland Intra-Super Cup season opener, Marum has had to make a few changes to the side due to injuries ahead of Saturday's clash against Northern Pride. Gregory Avira with this report.
Following a good performance in his debut off the bench in last weekend's match, forward Mackenzie Yeh has been brought into the starting lineup. He replaces Enoch Maki, who has been ruled out due to injury.
We still have to get the final report from doctor, but now he can't run, he can't train, so we leave him out. Mackenzie is in his place, so he played well last weekend off the bench, so hopefully he gets a bit more game time and second game, he'll do well for us down there.
The Hunters got their premiership title defense off to a good start with a win over the Ipswich Jets 22 points to 12 in Port Moresby. With this Saturday's clash against North Pride in Cairns, Coach Marum is wary of the Pride's bigger forward pack, but is confident his boys will be up to the task. The match is set to be played in wet conditions with continuous rainfall faced in North Queensland in recent days. Marum says the side has considered this and is prepared for the wet conditions.
We train, we play all weather football, so our schedules to train 3:30, whether it's going to be raining or. But yeah, no, it's good to have a bit of rain and train under wet conditions. So preparing for that game Saturday. Yeah.
Stargrot Amian will make a return to the side after recovering from injury, but will come off the bench. Marum says last weekend's man of the match performance by stand-in fullback Adex Wera will see him retaining the fullback position for this weekend.
So Adex played well last weekend. He got the man of the match. So there's no point in changing him. So only first game. So Stargrot can come off the bench and play centre. So somewhere in the at fullback here.
The final 18-man side will be named tomorrow before the team travels to Cairns on Friday ahead of their round 2 match on Saturday. Gregoria Vera, PNGTV Live.
And finally, despite people still recovering from the quake in the Southern Highlands province, the Imbongo district gave everyone a bit of reason to smile as they welcomed the first ever Rugby Union Sevens tournament to the area. This was made possible by the support of the Southern Highlands landowner company Petroleum Resource Kutubu, or PRK, which comes under the Mineral Resource Development Company. Kaligantanda with this report.
Despite people still recovering from the quake in Southern Highlands, the Imbongo district gave everyone a bit of reason to smile as they welcomed the first ever Rugby Union Sevens tournament to the area. This was made possible by the support of Southern Highlands landowner company Petroleum Resources Kutubu, or PRK, which comes under the Mineral Resources Development Company. With the area considered a rugby league stronghold, the crowds nonetheless welcomed the 16 teams taking part in the inaugural PRK South Sevens tournament.
It's a franchise of the Highlanders Rugby Sevens concept, which we came up with to start getting the game out to the rural areas, especially in the Highlands. We feel that we've been missing out on some of the potential games, so that's why we've come up with this to just start getting the interest going.
Of the 16 teams taking part, 4 came from the neighbouring Highlands provinces, with 2 teams flying in from Port Moresby and the autonomous region of Bougainville. 10 of the provincial teams came from Yalibu, Pangia, Kagua, Erave, Mendi, Poroma, Kutubu and the Gilue area, including hosts Imbongo. Despite the provincial teams having only 2 weeks of workshops and training at learning the basics of the game, they appeared to be picking up the code quite well, with Imbongo beating Goroka in the plate final and Yalibu emerging runners-up in the cup final against the Black Orchids. Sponsor of the tournament, Augustin Mano, said this was a seed being planted for rural development of not just rugby, but sport as well.
All rural areas also lose thinking. Talents and stuff. All the time, Mr. Go watch him. Sevens long, IRB sevens. All the time, Mr. Go watch him. Not the way also play long and Mr. thinking. Probably in travel country na why na you mean. So lose over the time. So talk na complaining go maski. Some of the time you must go na. Walking difference na start long league. So here you must start him lo Yalubu. Where no that man play rugby, no that man play 7M. You mean plan him sit long rugby long Yalubu.
With the tournament being geared towards opening the communities to this new code of rugby, no prize money was on offer for the victors. Instead, 50 new faces were selected and will be representing the Highlands in the annual Myers Sevens in 2 weeks' time in Fiji. In any case, the goal seems to have been achieved with the reactions of the locals. Kaligantanda, PNGTV Live, Imbongo, Southern Highlands.
That's where we end the news and sports here on PNGTV Live. From myself and the news team, it's good night.